Yo, the Ninjas of Ruthlessness are here, bro. The Water Ninja is who I am, and talking about TV shows is my jam, dude. And this time, I'm talking about reviewing the first half of Rick and Morty Season 6, yo. Dude, it was awesome! So far, they've shown episodes 1 through 6, bro, and they're saving the last 4 for like late November, yo. So I might as well just do a review on the first 6 episodes, right? Dude, the season starts off with like a heavy lore dump, and then after that it just like straight fires small stories with interesting concepts like dividing your mind into billions of people, and or like falling in love with yourself as a clone, or like fate altering fortune cookies, bro. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many like cool stories in this season, dude. Like, some of the episodes were like disturbing, some of them were cringe, some of them were thought-provoking and like insightful and stuff. Like, the action has been like pretty decent like so far, dude. Like, especially that fortune cookie episode, man. Like, it was just a cool watch. Like, nothing really had me laughing too hard, but there were still a lot of funny bits that had me, like, you know, chuckling and laughing and stuff. Like, the meta jokes weren't overkill, but they did catch me off guard for a minute. You know, like, but I still laughed at some of them. Some of them were pretty cool. What's really cool about this season so far is that all of the adventures were like Earth-based adventures, which felt good because we got to like focus on the family more and like deal with their stuff and their characterization and stuff and things. But now that Rick fixed his portal gun, like, the last 4 episodes are probably going to be like more out there with the adventures and stuff, you know what I mean? Episode 1, dude. Alright, so how Rick and Morty get saved was a little anticlimactic, but it makes sense, so it's all dope. Rick sending everyone to their OG universe, though, was pretty interesting. That was like a cool thing to even think about. Like, oh, let's just send everybody back to their world to see what's going on there. The funny part was Jerry got sent back to his world too, which is like, yo, that's dope, because they actually did mix him up in that one episode. Priceless. But like, it was just really cool to see Cronenberg world again and see like the developments there. Yeah, it's pretty much it was pretty sad to see, especially since Jerry of that world, Morty's original father, yeah, he's like the only one left, dude. It was kind of sad. It was a bummer, but it is what it is, dude. It is what it is. I wish we could have seen more of Rick's OG universe, but what we got to see was really crucial for his development as a character, and it really showed how much he cares about stuff, dude. The action sequences with Beth and the Summers was pretty decent, dude. Like, I really liked that. That was pretty cool. You know, it gave them something to do, something to bond over and think about and talk about and stuff. But dude, the reveal of Rick Prime, yo, Rick Prime, dude, oh my gosh. It's gonna be so fucking awesome to see them fight, to see Rick fight against Rick Prime. I just wish they actually went through and went like, you know, and they actually went to go fight him. But, you know, Morty was all like, no, dude, we gotta go help our family and stuff. And he's like, oh, fine. It was a little like, you know, it was just like a little taste. It was a little teaser just to show us like, okay, this is gonna be some cool stuff going down in like the rest of the episodes. But for now, just keep the idea in the back of your mind, okay? And then we're gonna come back to it. It was just so cool. I really wish they fought him further, but you know, they're saving him. Overall, I want to say this was like a 10 out of 10 episode, like for sure 10 out of 10. It really brought us back into like the whole world and all that, and just everything they did was just awesome. It hit so many beats. Like, I went through so many emotions watching this, but you know, came down to a solid 10 out of 10 in my heart and in my mind. Like episode 2, bruh. Alright, the concept for this episode was trippy as fuck. But seriously, I really wish I knew how they even got into that situation. I'm guessing they were just playing Roy randomly, and then the dudes just came up and started like, you know, holding the place hostage and stuff, but you know, they never showed that. I mean, it's negligible, but it just would have been cool to see that. They just jumped us in and it's just like, oh, Morty's stuck in the Roy game. It's just like, okay, alright, cool. So most of the time it's going to be spent in the Roy game while Summer's doing her Die Hard thing out there. The idea of splitting your mind between billions of people, like seriously, dude, cool AF to the max. Like, I never really like thought about that. Like, how would that even like work? How would you get like everybody on the same page? And Rick was just trying to convince everybody about how they're all the same, and it's just like, yo, that's some deep like Messiah type message type stuff, you know? Like, yo, we're all one people. Like, you guys gotta come together so we can fulfill like a deep mission and all that, and go help like the greater good and something outside of this world that we think is real, and it's really a simulation. You can go into like Matrix thinking and like, you know, like God and all that stuff, and like breaking down religion. Dude, this episode was sick, bro. It was awesome, bro. Like, there was so much in it. This episode really characterizes Morty by showing like the parts of him that doubt Rick or just don't like, you know, the stuff that Rick does. And it was really cool to see that, and to also see the parts of him that really do believe in Rick and really, you know, they really just follow Rick. But, you know, it's just cool to see like both sides being personified by the billions of people that live on the planet and stuff. Like, the Die Hard stuff with Summer, yo, it was enjoyable stuff, bro. It was pretty cool to see all of that. I just wish the ending was a little more climactic, but maybe that was a joke. It just quickly ends with like a few gunshots. Pew pew. Everything's alright. Let's go home now. That's it. Definitely a 7 out of 10 for this one. Action was dope. The story was cool. It's just that none of it really mattered at the end. It was just like a, you know, throwaway kind of story. Like, you know, it was what it was. Still cool though. Concept, out of this world type stuff. That's like one of the things I watch Rick and Morty for cool concepts like that. Trippy concepts like that. Really, really cool. 7 out of 10 though. Episode 3, homie. Okay, so Space Beth is back as like a semi-reoccurring character, bro. It's cool that she's a part of the story and a part of the family now, and that the family has pretty much resolved any issues they've had with her. I just didn't expect it to go where it went in this episode. I really did not expect the dynamics to flourish into what they did. The realistic video games bit was classic Rick and Morty comedy, bro. And some of them were like cringe, like really cringe, but some of them were decently funny. Like, the funniest part was how the kids were using the video game to ignore the situation with Beth. Like, they knew what was going on, but they just wanted to ignore it so badly that they just hopped into the video game. It was just all about the video games. I guess it's like a social message for how we're using video games to like escape reality and not dealing with problems that are happening in our lives, you know, in the real world. But hey, it is what it is. Yo, like, Jerry was just classic Jerry in this one, bro. Like, the pill bug defense thing was unexpectedly funny. The explanation was solid and the execution was flawless, bro. Like, I didn't think they would do something like that, but hey, it definitely drove the plot along and it made sense. So dope. I didn't really care about the ending though, dude. Like, I was just glad it was over, to be honest, bro. Like, overall, like, I enjoyed the concept, but like having to sit through the concept just made me like think while I was watching, like, bro, what the f am I watching, dude? Like, yo, it was totally trippy, but like at the same time, like, sitting through it just made me like, you know, just think about it on levels I didn't want to think about it, but now I'm thinking about it. It's like, damn. Okay, so pretty much overall, there were parts that made me laugh, parts that made me cringe, and parts that made me think. Pretty solid character-driven episode, not gonna lie. Enjoyed it. 7.5 out of 10 though, 7.5. it was just like a quiet, like, let's sit down and think about this and just enjoy the ride of the drama and the stuff that's going on, and like let's like poke little jokes here and there kind of a thing. 7.5 out of 10. Yo, it's episode 4, yo. Alright, dude, like this one seemed like the Halloween special kind of episode. Like, it reminded me of the movie Us by Jordan Peele, except for the fact like everybody was sharing a body with their double and they were going back and forth between them, and they were using their doubles as like slaves and stuff.
You know the worst thing about being a slave? They make you work, but they don't pay you or let you go.
That's the only thing about being a slave.
The whole concept for night people doing the stuff that you don't want to do and you reap the benefits, that was dope, bro. It was so dope. But you know, like, I really wish like this was a thing in real life where you can have night people just do that stuff for you, but you know, it's not gonna happen. Not anytime soon anyways. Maybe like 1,000 years into the future, but hey, you know, you could dream. But like, yeah, the reason for their rebellion was like a total joke, dude. It was like, really, just for the dishes? And even at the end, Rick still didn't want to do them dishes. He still didn't want to do them dishes. But you know, it was funny, but at the same time, it was just like, really? Lols, the lols for making Jerry the hero with his unselfish desires. You know, just writing to his double, while Rick stays true to his selfishness. You know, Jerry's gonna stay true to his kindness and all that, or his Jerryness, if you will.
What?
The fighting was cool. The fighting was really cool, and it was funny too, like how they kept like switching back and forth just by knocking each other out and then knocking out the double. Yeah, that was pretty cool, and it was like funny to like try to like keep track of like all the constant switching and try to think about like who. Was that person the double, or were they the night person, or were they like the day person? It was funny to see that and like try to keep track of that. Yeah, it was definitely an awesome episode. I want to say, like, cool concept, funny joke from the concept. Action was dope too. The action was really dope. I'm not gonna lie. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for sure. Definitely 8 out of 10, dude. Definitely 8 out of 10. Bro, episode 5. Like, wait, okay, fortune cookies, and then Jerry and his mom. Okay. Let's see what kind of story you're gonna tell me from this one. And it's just like, okay, I was along for the ride, but I did not expect where that ride went. This episode was definitely like a mix of like science and magic. Yeah, it was definitely that kind of thing. But like, you know, they tried to scientifically explain it by saying like, oh, it's because of an alien that, you know, doesn't really exist, but you know, we don't understand it, but it has like these abilities that, you know, regular humans don't, so just go with it. It's science, trust me. So the concept was a bit of a stretch, but you know, it made sense in the long run, since they just said, yo, it's because of an alien, so don't even try to think about it too much. It is what it is, but you know, it worked out. The thing about the trapped worker sending help through messed up fortunes, that was hilarious, bro. Oh my gosh, dude, that was just too funny. Especially his reasoning for sending the fortune that Jerry got, and the fact that he sent it, like, he sent multiple ones of those, so all the other people that got those,
But I suppose they fucked their moms.
yeah, I guess they did their moms, bro. One of the things I loved about this episode was how the action just ramped up. It went from cool to cooler to awesome, and it just kept going, especially the way especially when they started exploiting the fortune cookie powers and all that. Yo, that was so cool. It was just dope to see how Rick had to outsmart the power of the fortune cookies. And ultimately it ended pretty well. Yeah, I like the ending. It was pretty cool. And then, the thing I really like about the ending was when Jerry calls Rick his friend, and then Rick slaps him. It's like I was invincible that entire time. And then you messed it up. Oh my goodness, that slap was hilarious. Just Rick getting mad at Jerry just for calling him his friend, and then the slap at the end was just icing on the cake. It was just beautiful. It was funny. It was funny. It was super funny. Definitely 9 out of 10. Definitely 9 out of 10. This episode had so much that I enjoyed. The concept was dope. The characters were just funny, and the action was on point. Episode 6, Brody. Okay, the dinosaurs were cool. They were cool. I was really thinking, how are they gonna make a story with dinosaurs cool, other than them fighting? But the way they did it was cool. That what if scenario about the dinosaurs actually leaving the planet and then becoming like, you know, better than humans in a sense, like smarter, more advanced, and more just, they were just better than us, I'm not gonna lie. And just seeing them like converse with the world leaders and then explaining how like, yeah, we came back to, you know, change things and make things better. And then how they just did the jokes with like how all of the world rulers are like really messing up the planet. It was just some hilarious stuff, dude. Okay, so dude, the utopia without work seems like a good thing. And it raises an interesting question. Would we be fulfilled as humans if we didn't have to work for money, dude? Like, would everything be cool and like dope, or like would we really just like not like it and just, you know, want things to go back to the way they were? Like, things could be peaceful and chill and, you know, good and all that, but are we gonna get bored? Is it just not gonna be fulfilling? Like, are we gonna want to go back to the way things were? That's an interesting question to bring up. Rick's rivalry with the dinosaurs was funny, bro. It was so funny, especially when they fixed his portal gun. Since everybody's been nagging him about like, why haven't you fixed the portal gun yet? Why haven't you fixed it yet? Oh my goodness. And then they just come out of nowhere and just like make a better one instantly. That rivalry was just hilarious. And the meta humor was on point in this episode. I really enjoyed the meta humor in this episode. Like, sometimes it gets annoying, sometimes it gets boring, but in this one, this one they did it well. This one they did it well. Overall, it just seemed like a battle between enjoy having problems to solve or enjoy having perfection and peace. And to be honest, I'm leaning more on the perfection and peace side, but I can see where having problems to solve and all that would be more, you know, worthwhile and fulfilling for people. But if it's gonna destroy us all, like how things are happening now with the global warming and the war and stuff like that, dude, it's an interesting question. Do we really want the dinosaurs to come here and change that? Would we want that in the real world? Let's think about that. But overall, 8.5 out of 10 for this episode. I really like the lore in this episode, and I really like, you know, some of the stuff that was discussed. Like, the topic was a pretty cool topic to think about. Like, yeah, dude, like 8.5 out of 10 for this one. Overall, bro, I want to say my favorite episode was the fortune cookie one. Like, seriously, bro, that was just so hype. But if I'm gonna go by like a really good episode, the best one was definitely the first episode. The first episode is what a lot of Rick and Morty fans would definitely enjoy, and it's just like, okay, it gave us a lot in terms of like the story or the lore of the show. So definitely the first episode was the best, but my favorite was the fortune cookie one for sure. And dude, these were all Earth-based adventures. Now that the portal gun is fixed, we're probably not gonna get episodes like these anymore, or at least for a long time. But it will be cool to see more expansive locations and stories going forward. Now that the portal gun is fixed, they can pretty much go anywhere and do anything. And, you know, they don't have to stay on Earth all the time. And he might go after Rick Prime again. So, yeah, the Rick Prime situation, definitely ready for that. Definitely ready for that. Yo, all the episodes were solid in my opinion, bro. Like, it made me think, they made me like wonder, and they were just like super fun to watch, dude. They were just really fun to watch. Like, seriously, the concepts, the story, the lore, the action, they were all decent in all of them. But like some of them, you know, they did some things did some better than the other, or some just didn't have like certain aspects. Like some didn't have any like real lore, some didn't have much of a good story, some the concepts were like okay, but overall so far this season is looking like a really good season. For me, I want to say it's probably going to be my third favorite season so far. It could change depending on these last 4 episodes, but so far it's looking like a really good season. Going forward for these last 4 episodes, it looks like it feels like we're going to focus more on portal gun adventures, and you know, they're going to go out there and do more stuff outside of their universe. But I'm pretty sure these last 4 episodes are going to be hype AF, bro. Like, seriously, especially with Rick Prime as the main villain, dude. Like, we had Evil Morty as like a kind of main villain, but now we have Rick Prime. Rick Prime is really gonna mess with him. Rick Prime is really gonna start messing with him. Before it was like Evil Morty, he wasn't really gonna mess with them specifically. He was just doing his own thing so he could leave. But now Rick Prime definitely feels like someone that's gonna mess with him, or Rick is just gonna try to mess with Rick Prime, and then that's gonna start like a whole conflict and a whole, maybe even a war. Who knows? That'd be cool. But yeah, man, this is going to be a very interesting season. So far, it's been pretty good. I can't wait to see more, dude. But until next time, yo, this has been the Water Ninja. Join me in the comment section below, bro. Yo, and don't forget, subscribe to the Ninjas of Ruthlessness channel, dude. Do it, bro. Do it.